The Joshua Tree sounds like driftwood to me. It's rhyming reason 676.
There's a rhyming reason for your life. There's a rhyming reason why.
Hey there, Tony here, and I'm going to do a little recollecting about a story that happened way back in 1987. I remember a young lady back then telling me about the Joshua Tree when I was in Albuquerque, New Mexico on a booking. I was there for 2 weeks, and she and a couple of her friends asked me if I'd heard of that album by the band U2, and they asked because we'd all been in a friendly conversation about Christian values and principles in the music business, or lack of them. Plus, they'd heard me sing, "Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For, but I Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For." Remember that song? It was one of the songs on the album. And they heard me sing that, and I guess that brought up the question. So they told me about the Joshua Tree and how they said it showed U2's Christian influences. Now, of course, I was surprised by that. And no, at that time, I hadn't heard the Joshua Tree collection. I'd only heard that, still haven't found what I'm looking for single, and I liked it and added it to my repertoire. So in case you're wondering, well, Tony, did you give the album a listen? And if so, what'd you think? Well, I tried to listen, but the songs basically just ran together. For me, they did. Before I go any further, it's important to acknowledge I know how music is certainly subjective, okay? So I'm giving you my subjective opinion on it. There's no denying, I get it, the popularity of U2. They've been around a long time now. They've sold millions more albums and made millions more dollars than I ever will, but I'm not a fan because their music just runs together. And it definitely doesn't resemble or stand up for Christian principles and values, despite the fact that Christianity Today said this, at a glance, one of the most vital and influential albums in the history of rock, both mainstream and Christian. If that's true, no wonder Christian churches are now dazed and confused and almost totally compromised. Thank God I follow Christ and not Christianity Today. A while back I took issue with Bono, who's the lead singer for U2. That's not his real name, but that's what everybody knows him by. That's how that works. And I watched a video of him and a guy named Eugene Peterson talking about their views on the state of Christian music and the Psalms. As it turns out, Eugene Peterson is the guy, I think, who wrote and published The Message, and that's messed up. Anyway, Bono's worldview and politics and propensity for profanity that he didn't do in that video, but he does on a regular basis, they make him one of the least qualified pop musicians to have influence in the history of rock, both mainstream and Christian. And Mr. Hewson's, that's his real name, Hewson, his opinions of my music would resemble mine of his, I'm sure, at least his honest opinions. The reason these gentle opinions popped into my head this week is because March 21st marked the anniversary of the Joshua Tree's #1 status on the charts way back then in 1987. And that's 34 years, in case you're interested. That's a long time, and they're still around. So that's success, in the music business. And that also means that Bono is going to be 61 this year. And from what I can tell, he's still on the wrong side of almost every major issue and topic in the world. He's, in other words, barking up the wrong Joshua Tree. And if he's truly looking for a relationship with his creator, it appears he still hasn't found what he's looking for. Yeah, I said it. What of it, okay? Climbing trees to find the answers in life and not looking to the one who made trees is an ideal way to drift through your life without knowing who humility sees. Thank you so much for tuning in to this rant on U2 and Bono and stuff that's passing itself off as Christian, and it really isn't. And I appreciate you indulging me talking about that. I hope if you have a conflicting opinion or even an agreement, you'll get in touch with me and let me know. Tony at TonyFunderburk.com. That's me. And as always, this podcast is brought to you by that TonyFunderburk.com. And as always, there's that merch tab. And as always, it goes to a t-shirt where that always says, life has rhyme and reason because God made you.
There's a rhyme and